Have you ever treated your birthday like just another day? No party, no celebration, no social media announcement, just another Tuesday. While everyone around you is asking what you're doing to celebrate, planning surprises, expecting you to be excited, you just wake up and go about your life, like nothing special is happening. And when people ask about it, you just shrug. It's just another day. But here's what most people don't understand about you. Your choice isn't about being humble or modest. It's backed by real psychology, by self-awareness, emotional autonomy, and a deep understanding of what truly matters to you. This isn't about judging people who love their birthdays. This is about exploring the fascinating psychology behind why you choose to treat yours like a normal day. Because the truth is, your decision to skip birthday celebrations reveals something profound about your identity, how you process validation, and what you truly value in life. See, for generations, birthdays have been treated as mandatory celebrations, a day where you're supposed to feel special, where people are supposed to remember you, celebrate you, shower you with attention. Society has written a script. Birthday cake, party, gifts, social media posts, well wishes. It's the storyline we've been sold since childhood. But you've stepped outside that script. You've chosen to let your birthday pass quietly, not reluctantly, but intentionally. And the psychology behind your choice is complex, nuanced, and deeply personal. 1. You don't need external validation. For you, treating your birthday like a normal day comes from internal validation. Psychologists call this intrinsic self-worth. It's when your sense of value doesn't depend on external recognition. You've asked yourself hard questions. Do I need one day a year to feel important? Does attention from others make me more valuable? Does a birthday celebration define my worth? And for you, the answer is no. This isn't self-neglect or low self-esteem. It's independence. You know your value isn't tied to a calendar date. You don't need a designated day to feel seen. And that kind of emotional autonomy is rare because most people rely on birthdays for annual validation, a reminder that they matter. But you've already internalized that you matter every day. You've rejected the need for scheduled significance, and that takes confidence. 2. You're uncomfortable with forced attention. Here's something people misunderstand about you. Choosing to skip your birthday doesn't mean you hate yourself. It often means you're uncomfortable being the center of attention. Psychologists have found that some people experience social spotlight anxiety, not because you don't appreciate kindness, but because forced attention feels performative. You have to smile on cue, act grateful even when you feel awkward. Pretend to be surprised when you saw it coming. For you, that feels exhausting. You'd rather people show they care on random days when it's genuine, not because a calendar told them to. And there's something authentic about that. When someone reaches out to you on a random Wednesday just because they thought of you, that means more than a scripted happy birthday post. 3. You've experienced birthday disappointment before. Then there's the painful truth. Some people treat birthdays like normal days because birthdays have let them down before. Maybe you threw a party and nobody came. Maybe people forgot. Maybe the day never lived up to the hype you were promised as a child. Psychologists call this learned disappointment avoidance. It's when you stop expecting something to protect yourself from being hurt. You've looked at birthdays and thought, why set myself up for disappointment? If you don't expect anything, you can't be let down. If you treat it like a normal day, you're in control. That's not bitterness, that's self-protection. And while it might look like indifference on the surface, underneath it's often unhealed wounds from birthdays that should have been special but weren't. 4. You value authentic connection over ritual. Here's something beautiful about you. You don't want people to care about you because a calendar reminds them. You want people to care about you because they genuinely do. Psychologists studying relationships have found that people with high authenticity needs often reject social rituals because rituals can feel hollow. You'd rather have one friend who checks in on you throughout the year than 20 people who only remember you exist on your birthday. You've redefined what connection means. It's not about grand gestures once a year. It's about consistent presence. And you've realized something profound. A birthday doesn't make someone care about you. It just gives people who forgot about you an excuse to perform caring. And you're not interested in performances. You're interested in real relationships. 5. You're aware of time's meaninglessness. Then there's the existential side. Some people treat birthdays like normal days because they've realized something uncomfortable. A birthday is just Earth completing another orbit around the sun. It's arbitrary. You didn't accomplish anything just by aging. You didn't earn a celebration just by surviving another year. Psychologists call this temporal awareness. It's when you step back and see that the significance we attach to dates is entirely constructed. You've looked at birthdays and thought, why does this one day matter more than the 364 others? And you couldn't find a good answer. So you stopped pretending it does. That's not nihilism, that's clarity. You celebrate accomplishments, not calendar dates. You value growth, not just getting older. 6. You're uncomfortable with forced attention. Here's something painful that people don't talk about. Birthdays come with an expectation. You're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to have the best day ever. You're supposed to feel grateful, joyful, celebrated. But what if you don't feel that way? What if your birthday falls during a hard time in your life? What if you're grieving, struggling, or just not in the mood? For you, treating your birthday like a normal day removes that pressure. You don't have to perform happiness. You don't have to fake gratitude. You can just feel whatever you're actually feeling. Psychologists have found that emotional authenticity is linked to better mental health, and you've chosen authenticity over expectation. That's not being difficult, that's being honest. 7. You're financially practical. Then there's the practical side. Some people skip birthday celebrations because they don't see the value in spending money on them. Dinners out, drinks, parties, gifts for others who will give you gifts. It adds up. And you've looked at that expense and thought, I'd rather save this money for something that actually matters to me. Psychologists studying financial behavior have found that people with high financial conscientiousness often skip optional social spending, not because you're cheap, but because you're intentional with your resources. You'd rather invest in experiences that truly fulfill you, not obligatory celebrations that drain your wallet. That's not being a killjoy, that's being smart. 8. You've outgrown the childhood magic. Here's something bittersweet. Some people treat birthdays like normal days because they've realized birthdays were really only magical when you were a child, back when a birthday meant you were growing up, getting closer to being an adult, gaining new privileges. But once you're an adult, birthdays just remind you that you're getting older, that time is passing, that you're 1 year closer to mortality. Psychologists call this birthday blues or birthday depression. It's when birthdays trigger existential anxiety instead of joy. And you've decided the best way to handle that is to not make a big deal out of it. If you don't celebrate, you don't have to confront the uncomfortable feelings that come with aging. That's not avoidance, that's coping. 9. You find meaning in the everyday. Then there's something profound. You treat your birthday like a normal day because you've learned to find meaning in ordinary moments. You don't need one special day a year because you've made your whole life special. Psychologists studying life satisfaction have found that people who find joy in daily routines often have higher overall happiness than people who live for big events. You've realized that waiting for your birthday to feel special is waiting 364 days to feel valued. But you've chosen to value yourself every day. That morning coffee, that walk in the park, that conversation with a friend. You don't need a birthday to give your life meaning. You've already built a meaningful life. 10. You're rebelling against societal expectations. Here's something powerful. Some people treat their birthday like a normal day as an act of quiet rebellion. Society tells you you should celebrate, that you should want attention, that you should make a big deal out of yourself. And you've looked at that expectation and said, no thanks. Psychologists studying autonomy have found that people who resist social norms often have higher levels of independent thinking. You're not a follower. You're someone who questions why things are done a certain way. And when everyone around you is saying you should celebrate, you're asking why. And often you don't find a good answer enough. So you choose differently, not to be difficult, but to be true to yourself. 11. You know it's a valid choice. So where does this leave you? Your choice to treat your birthday like a normal day is legitimate. It's not antisocial, ungrateful, or depressing. It's a conscious decision about how to live authentically. And just like the choice to celebrate birthdays deserves respect, so does your choice not to. Because both require self-knowledge, emotional clarity, and intentionality. You've thought more deeply about what you need than people who just follow tradition. You've questioned assumptions. You've evaluated what truly makes you feel valued. You've made a choice that feels right for you. That's not immature, that's wise. And maybe in a world that's still catching up, your choice is ahead of its time. Because you've realized something powerful. You don't need a birthday to feel special. You don't need a celebration to know your worth. You don't need external validation to live a meaningful life. You just need honesty, self-awareness, and the courage to define your own path. So here's my question for you. When was the last time you did something just because you wanted to, not because society expected it? That's what you did with your birthday. You chose yourself over tradition. And if this made you think differently about the psychology behind your own choices, subscribe, because every week we explore the hidden psychology shaping your life, the channel where you actually understand yourself. See you in the next one.